Honestly, I gotta say it. The Bleach manga hasn't been this exciting since 2012. Like, this is the pinnacle of Bleach in the past 3 years. I haven't had this level of excitement. I guess I could speak personally. Maybe some people have had, different experiences. But for me, the intensity that I feel from it, just overall my level of interest right now and everything above is just at its peak. And I haven't had that since 2012 when, people were dying left and right. Yamamoto bit the big one. Everything was being built up with, Yhwach. It hasn't been this crazy since then. And I've been waiting to say, like, let me get that 2012 Bleach back. And it took a while, but we finally got it back because honestly, I don't give a fuck. Aizen just everything, the way he's talking, the mystique about him, the level of power that he has at his disposal, and not to mention again all the stuff with the Soul King that is still continuously going on. Ichigo versus Yhwach, getting ready to kick off, or not even getting ready, it's actually happening right now. So we have a lot of good things going on, and honestly, the Bleach manga is just it's fucking insane right now, and I'm really, really enjoying the living shit out of it. Just like critic aside, reviewer aside, as a fan, I am just like, give me more Bleach, baby. More Bleach. So for starters, you can definitely see that Aizen is just going to be so fucking OP. He's going to be so OP if with just 3 restraints being released. Well, just 1 alone, he already can get up and walk and all this other shit. But with 3 released, motherfuckers can't even get near him at this point because he can just use his Reiatsu, chop your hands off and shit like that. And if he's like, the level of power anyway that he has at his disposal right now is just out of this world. And I think Central 46, they were smart to do what they did, having Kyoraku have the key in his heart, whatever. And the funny thing is, let's be real here, if Aizen wants, especially if his Shikai is inside of him at this particular point and he has the powers of illusion, I mean, when you remember back, Bach was like, yo, he was fucking with my mind, and that's when he was completely sealed up, and like, Aizen was able to fuck with Bach like that. Imagine what he could do now that he has 3 of the seals off. Like, for all Kyoraku know, Kyoraku could be already there on the fucking floor bleeding out, but he can be under the illusion that he's still standing right there talking to Aizen. We don't know how far it's gotten to, how strong this man has gotten at this particular point, especially with the Hogyoku and everything that's happened. So we can only assume right now that Kyoraku is standing there talking to him. For all we know, Kyoraku's there dead on the floor or about to die any second with his heart ripped out of his chest, and Aizen is like, just as planned, motherfucker. But one of the things that definitely got me, and again, you don't know what Aizen, he's a fucking troll king. Like, him and Bach right now are fighting for power of who's the bigger troll at this particular point. I mean, Bach with his futuristic abilities, and then Aizen just being fucking Aizen in general is like, yeah, they're both 2 big-ass fucking trolls. But when he said, Central 46 thinks I would really go as far as to kill you to get the keys, I was curious, was he being sarcastic or was he being legit? Because to this day, we can't really put a finger on Aizen. I mean, it's hundreds upon hundreds of chapters of him being the main villain, and to this point, who knows, he maybe still is the main villain. I don't fucking know at this point, but because it's Aizen at the end of the day, let's be real here, it's Aizen. What was he meaning by that? I mean, for all we know, all along, Aizen was just having casualties and sacrifices to his ultimate goal of maybe saving the universe or some shit like that. And maybe when he said that about Central 46 looking at him like that, he was being legit. Maybe it's like, why would I hurt Kyoraku for, coming down here or something like that? We don't fucking know. He could just actually be saying the truth. And I really don't get how they're expecting to put him in that chair. First of all, it's Aizen. Like, really, you're gonna put him in that chair? But you're expecting to put him in that chair, and how the fuck you expecting him to combat Bach from being strapped up with all these fucking locks and shit in a chair? Like, I don't get what they expect from him. And even, okay, let's just say they bring him up in the chair and he has these powers. Couldn't he just like double cross everyone right then and there if he has enough power to do things? Like, I don't get exactly where they're going with this. Even though, Kyoraku was like, our interests are about to intersect. If you can't completely trust him enough to let him completely go wild, which eventually he's going to get loose, let's be real here. And when he does, it's going to be an epitome of a fucking moment, I tell you. But you can't trust him, then why are you even bothering? You're gonna have to, at some given point, let him go because he can't fight Bach from a fucking chair with a straitjacket. And then that begs the question, Aizen, will he actually lend his power at this point? We don't know Aizen. The fact of the matter remains, we don't fucking know if he will at this point. He turned down Bach. When Bach went to ask him, he basically told him, yo, eat a dick, motherfucker. So maybe he would help. Maybe he really does give a fuck about everyone. it's Aizen, honestly. We just, at this particular point, looking at it, reviewing it and everything, we don't fucking know. And that was a good chunk of the chapter, and I definitely gotta say, I don't know if it's that Kubo gets really excited with Aizen stuff, but if you notice, the past few chapters, everything's getting more dialogue heavy, more interesting and everything, and I honestly think that Kubo just loves writing Aizen, and now that Aizen's back in the picture, Kubo's just like, I'm writing all day, motherfucker. And that was the first half, or a little bit over half of the chapter or whatever, and it was just insane and interesting as fuck, and it was slowly progressing things, and this is something that I don't want to be fast anyway, because it's like you're inching towards Aizen's freedom, and you're inching towards seeing where Aizen is gonna go and what stance he's gonna take in this war. Will he be a third party? If he gets loose, will he say, fuck both of y'all, I'm still going with my own ambition? Yoruichi kind of trying to force Ukitake basically to keep things whole and become the new Soul King. I still don't even understand, like, there's too many vague things, I guess, at this particular point that need to be addressed regarding, like, okay, so this right hand that's there, is it going to permanently, can it permanently stay there, or once Ukitake's body gives out, basically it'll disappear, and if that's the case, once it disappears, will the whole Soul Society and everything go back into shaking and out of existence? What's up with that? And definitely huge hinting as well when Bak was like, oh, Ichigo, you're so cocky, you think you're the only one that can save everyone and everything? Hinting it like a motherfucker about Ichigo and Aizen at some given point, you know, having to team up because he's not the only one. Aizen has the power as well, and but one of the biggest things about this chapter as well is hinting that Bak could potentially change the future with his eyes, where he basically says the future is basically decided upon these eyes. So if he can change the future with these eyes, then he is beyond broken. I mean, Aizen already is looking broken as fuck, and maybe Aizen can do something to trick Bak to think that he's changing the future, but really he's taking a shit in a fucking dumpster somewhere. But if he can change the future with his eyes, except certain things, then maybe, you know, the people that have these certain things in them, which could potentially be Ichigo and Aizen, maybe they both each have a part of the Soul King in them, so he can't change their future, but he's gonna be pretty fucking broken. I mean, at that point, it's like, how do you stop someone that can go into the future and make sure everything goes exactly how they want it to be, well, according to plan? And yeah, to be honest with you, yet again, just a slam dunk fucking very good chapter of Bleach, setting things up, moving things along with the whole Aizen situation. Aizen, where is his stance? Like, the questions of this chapter definitely, what is Aizen gonna do? Can he fight from a fucking chair, Bak and all these people? What would be the point of bringing him to sit in a straitjacket? Also, Bak, can he change the future with his eyes? And if so, will he only be able to do that to people a part of the whole Soul King's arms? And at this particular point, do you think that with Aizen working together with Ichigo, if Bak does have that power to change the future and he can use it on anybody, will they be enough to stop him? Or will it take something even further than that? Like, what is going to happen in your opinion? At this particular point, shit is so crazy with Bleach, it's not the most predictable. Like, it's Bleach, usually you can kind of, like, you know, maybe like this it'll happen, but I see them teaming up, Ichigo and Aizen, but that's as far as, like, you know, it goes. Very good stuff, 8.5 out of 10 for this bad boy. Bleach is just like at its high again, and it hasn't been this awesome and this exciting since 2012, but Kubo brought Aizen back and it changed everything. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.